All right, we are back at BurlyCon 2014. It is Mona Bella of Working the Tease, and we are here with Cha Velour. Thank you for joining us, Cha.
Thank you for having me.
So, you've been at BurlyCon before, right?
It's my 5th year at BurlyCon.
And what are you doing this year at BurlyCon?
This year I am attending tons of classes, but also I am moderating a panel. I'm on speaking at tomorrow is on applying to festivals. So those of us that are on the panel have been involved in festival production in some manner, so we can give tips on what would be best to get your chances of getting into a festival.
What is the festival circuit in burlesque, and why do people do it?
I'm going to be honest.
I like that.
Oh yeah. So my first answer will not get any blowback, but my second answer might. I'm gonna have two.
Okay.
Answers. My second answer might get a little blowback, but that would be fine. Positive stuff about festivals. You get to travel to maybe places you normally wouldn't visit, kind of like a vacation, kind of like working. You go, you meet other performers. The first festival I went to, I think, was in 2008. I went to Toronto, and I didn't know anyone. I went by myself, met a bunch of people I'm still friends with today. So that was lovely. And then the experience of performing in a venue that you might not normally be able to perform in as a burlesque show.
Yeah.
So it's usually a higher value production. Not always. Sometimes festivals I've seen happen at just like a normal local venue. But I think in general people expect them to be at a large theater that has hundreds of seat capacity. And in our normal shows, I mean, I know there are some of you that can have that often.
Yeah, it's not
But
us.
I think most of us are working in a smaller theater or a bar setting where maybe like 100 or less is like, I think, a normal, like, regularly running show. And like at a festival, you can perform for 800 people sold out, and then maybe more, you know. Usually you get a beautiful video of your performance, so there's definitely those great things. I think it's awesome for performers to try to do festivals, to get out there, to experience it. And the circuit's kind of cool because if you have the money to spend on them, I mean, you can be going somewhere different every weekend in the world. Now the cons. I've sort of made a conscious decision that I'm not going to do that so much anymore. There's this like whole idea that a lot of people that have been in burlesque a little bit, sort of, we discuss amongst ourselves the whole idea of, I'm done paying to play.
Yeah.
Like, you apply for the festival, you fly to get there, unless you're a headliner, then they fly you and you get paid and all that. But you know, the majority of people, so sometimes, you know, to go to across the country can be $1,000, $1,500 for a 3-day trip for a performer. And that's
a lot of money, especially when you
money.
break down what burlesque dancers actually make per show.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like €1 per.
And some festivals do pay, which has been fabulous.
Yeah.
I've been flown out as a featured performer at a festival before, and they made me feel like a queen. That was in Vermont last year. This 2013 Vermont Burlesque Festival made me feel fabulous. You know, and every festival I've gone to, I have not minded spending the money. I've never regretted it. Always had a great time. But just looking at it, going, you know, I've been doing the festival circuit. I think I'm just done, and I know that's happening more and more, but at the same time too, there sort of seems to be like a culture within burlesque where you're almost like need a festival to be validated, and I feel like that's kind of sad because there's amazing performers that never leave their city and can be superstars, can have the potential to be as great as, you know, some of the superstars we know, but maybe they don't do the festival thing because of the money, or they just are like, you know, I don't want to pay to play, or they have families. So there's a weird thing there, you know, but in general, I mean, they're great.
How do you feel about the competition in art?
Well, I think that, well, very few of the festivals are competitions.
Okay.
There are some that are like, but they're also, I feel like, really fun. Like, I won Best Solo at Texas Burlesque Festival one year. I got first runner-up at the Viva Las Vegas Burlesque competition one year. And that's just fun. Like, it's not, there's very few, I feel like within the burlesque circuit, and you know, there's Burlesque Hall of Fame weekend, which really isn't a festival, but has, you know, is sort of on the same parallel in a lot of ways, and that's a giant competition. And I feel like that's the only competition, I could be wrong, but in my opinion, the only competition that sort of exists that if you win, you actually, it will help your burlesque career. There's a Las Vegas Burlesque Festival, which is not Burlesque Hall of Fame, it's a separate event. So through 2013, I produced the first one, it was the inaugural one. So I chose not to make that a competition. I feel that also because more and more people are applying to festivals, that sometimes certain ones, or maybe all of them, it's pretty prestigious to say like, hey, you know, I got in. Like they only took 40% of the applicants, or 50% of the applicants, or 25% of the applicants, and like, I got in. But at the same time too, like I think the competition can be cool, and people that don't like it don't have to go to those festivals.
Yeah, those competition festivals.
I think it's fun. Like there's an event that happens in multiple states called the Burley Picks.
Yeah.
That Crystal
We
Swarovski
just had it in LA.
And we're actually going to do our first one in Vegas in 2015, and Chris Beyond is going to co-produce it with me because Crystal can't be there. And like there's really fun competitions like the best tassel twirler and the best assler and like lip sync queen or king, or like that's lighthearted and fun.
Yeah. That's just fun stuff.
That's fun.
So that is it for Cha Velour at BurleyCon 2014 with Working the Tease. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
this was really cool. I chat a lot about
Oh, I love
burlesque.
chatting. I can talk
Hours.
burlesque for hours. Obviously,
Hours.
we can do hours and hours. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and you'll find more burly goodness every single week. Love you guys.